Mr. President, I come to the floor today to laud the actions of the House of Representatives, which voted to repeal the class long-term care entitlement program that was created by the health care law. The vote yesterday in the House of Representatives was 267 in favor of repeal. It was a bipartisan vote. It was a clear, I think, message that this is a piece of legislation that needs to be taken off the books. And it was a disaster in the making from the very beginning, and many of us tried to predict that this ultimately program was destined to fail. And the House of Representatives vote yesterday to repeal this insolvent program, I hope, will pave the way for the Senate to follow suit, because my fear has been all along that if we don't get this program off the books, that at some point there will be an attempt to resurrect it. And that would be the absolute worst outcome and worst scenario for the American taxpayer, because this is a program that even before it was voted on and added to the health care bill was predicted would fail. The Congressional Budget Office said that it would run deficits in the out years. The actuary at the Health and Human Services Department predicted that this was a program that actuarially just was unsound, could not be viable in the long run. And it was just here in the last few months that finally the Secretary of the Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius, came out and said that I don't see a viable path forward for class implementation. And that was a statement that she made back in the middle of October. And so even the person that was tasked with implementing this program has now said there is no viable path forward for class. And so we ought to get this off the books, Mr. President. It was, in fact, a pay-for in the health care bill. It was designed to help understate the cost of the health care bill. It front-end loaded premiums, got revenue in the door early, knowing full well that when the demands for payments came later on, that it was going to be upside down. And it was clearly a program that I think by any account, all who observed this process closely knew just flat wouldn't work. But it was done, it obscured the cost of the health care bill, helped it to sort of balance out because it was front-end loaded, saw revenues come in the early years before the payments would have to go out in the out years. And so I'm hopeful that the United States Senate will take the action that was taken by the House of Representatives and to end this thing once and for all. Now, we've got people on both sides of the aisle who have come to that conclusion. There was a lot of debate even in the run-up and the lead-up to the vote on the health care bill about how this wouldn't work. And I offered an amendment during the health care debate to strip it. We had 10 Democrats at the time who voted with me on that amendment, and many of them made statements regarding this legislation and the implications if it were to pass. In fact, the senator from North Dakota, the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee, said at the time that this is a Ponzi scheme of the first order, the kind of thing that Bernie Madoff would have been proud of. And he vowed to block its inclusion in the Senate bill. Well, it ended up in the Senate bill. It ended up in the overall bill. And so to this day, it's still a part of the health care legislation, but a part that needs to be stripped out if we're going to do what's in the best interest of the American taxpayer and not put yet another unfunded liability on the backs of our children and grandchildren. So you've got a lot of bipartisan support for repealing it, a lot of people who have weighed in against this and know that it won't work. And you've got an awful lot of outside interest as well who have observed now that this is not something that is sustainable over time. In fact, a lot of editorial pages around the country, newspapers have weighed in on this. The Washington Post, a new gimmick that's been designed to pretend the health care reform is fully paid for, was something that they said back when this was being debated. The Wall Street Journal, known as the acronym CLASS, and I'm quoting, the long-term care insurance program for nursing homes and the like was grafted into the health care bill mostly to hide that bill's true costs. It has been described as a budgetary time bomb. And so it just seems to make perfect sense to me, Mr. President, and I hope to many of my colleagues, that we take the steps that are necessary to get this program off the books once and for all. It's going to somehow in trying to justify this, there are people who say, well, we ought to keep it on the books in case we figure out a way to go forward with it, to implement it. It just doesn't work. It can't work. And that's been known from the very outset. In fact, I want to mention just something else that the actuary at the Health and Human Services Department Rick Foster, said, and this was prior to this thing again being voted on. He said, and this is a pretty powerful statement if you ask me, he said, 36 years of actuarial experience lead me to believe that this program would collapse in short order and require significant federal subsidies to continue. I want to repeat that. This is from the person who studies the trends and makes sure that these programs, or tries to make sure that these programs are actuarially sound. 36 years of actuarial experience lead me to believe that this program would collapse in short order and require significant federal subsidies to continue. That was the warning that was issued way before the vote ever occurred on the Class Act. You go back, he described it as a classic assessment spiral or insurance death spiral. Those are words, again, he used to describe this. The program is intended to be actuarially sound, but at first glance, this goal may not be possible. Those are all statements that were made by the actuary. And so, those of us who were here at the time and were really concerned about this being included in the health care bill came to the floor, and as I said, I offered an amendment to strip it. Came close to getting the necessary votes, but unfortunately fell a couple of votes short. But it had broad bipartisan support. But we recognized at the time that this thing was destined to fail. And now you've got all this stuff and the studies that have been done since that validate that by the objective sort of third-party validators, if you will, by the HHS actuary. So it seems to me, at least, Mr. President, that the American taxpayers, the American people deserve to know where their elected officials stand on the Class Act. Are they for keeping this unviable, insolvent, actuarially unsound provision in the health care bill, which now even those who are tasked with implementing it, the Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius has said there is no viable path forward for its implementation. Are we going to continue to keep this thing around, or are we going to have a vote here in the United States Senate to put the end to this thing once and for all? And I hope that the Majority Leader, Senator Reid, will allow us to get this up for a vote. It's been passed in the House of Representatives. It's very clear, based on not only all the actuarial evidence, but all those who have looked at this, who are tasked with trying to put it into practice, that it's just not going to work. And so I would hope that before this thing goes any further, that we will get a vote here in the United States Senate that will echo what happened in the House of Representatives, and that we will do the right thing by the American taxpayer and get rid of a program that, if it ever is resurrected, if it ever is reincarnated in some form, could be a terrible, terrible drain on the American taxpayers, not only today but well into the future, and represent yet another unfunded liability that we will put on the backs of our children and grandchildren. It's time to end the Class Act once and for all. I'm going to continue to press for a vote on this, and I hope that Majority Leader Reid will allow us to get a vote on repeal of the Class Act so the American people do know exactly where their elected officials stand, and whether they're going to stand on the side of the taxpayer and stand on the side of common sense, or stand on the side of using this budgetary gimmick to understate the cost of the health care bill, and to perhaps at some point in the future put a plan in place that literally is not going to work and is only going to continue to lead us on a pathway to bankruptcy. Mr. President, with that, I yield the floor.